I'm standing here in Nelson Mandela Park, and I need to ask a question that feels uncomfortable but necessary. If Nelson Mandela, a Nobel Peace Prize winner, could be labeled and branded a terrorist, what does that mean for how we label dissent today? Think about it. This park was named after a man who spent 27 years in prison, not for killing anyone, but for resisting a violent, racist regime. Yet, even after becoming South Africa's president, Mandela remained on the US terrorism watch list until 2008. That is 14 years after he was elected president. Now, here is why we are talking about this. Back home in Nigeria, Nnamdi Kanu has just been convicted on terrorism charges. Supporters say he crossed a line, and critics argue that the government is criminalizing dissent. So let's add context. Mandela was convicted of terrorism by an apartheid government that banned peaceful protest and shot unarmed children in the streets. His group, Nkomto Weswize, carried out sabotage, targeting electricity lines and military installations. Even Western governments lumped him with real terrorists because he was politically convenient. But here is the contradiction that we must confront today. In Nigeria, actual terrorist groups that have killed over 100,000 people in the last decade, have been pardoned, rehabilitated, and in some cases recruited into the armed forces. Why does the state reserve its harshest label, not for mass killers, but for people who oppose it? You see, we have to be honest with ourselves. History shows that governments don't just use the word terrorism to describe violence. They use it to describe inconvenience. They use it to describe disobedience. They use it to describe those who refuse to bend the knee. Mandela once said, "It is always the oppressor, not the oppressed, who dictates the form of the struggle." And when the avenues for peaceful expressions are shut, when courts become blunt tools, when dialogue becomes dangerous, people are pushed into corners that they didn't choose. I'm not here to excuse any wrongdoing. I'm here to remind us of a simple truth. If Mandela could be labeled a terrorist, then the label itself demands scrutiny, not blind acceptance. Standing in this park, I am asking us, honestly, humbly, what do we call terrorism? Is it violence against the people? Or is this simply a voice that the powerful do not want to hear? What do you think?